Christ. He backed into the railing, sea wind flattening his shirt against his chest. I'm your father. You're not. Her voice cracked. You're just the man she married. The next morning Jake was gone. A note on the fridge about a month-long photography expedition. Mia stared at his abandoned coffee mug, lipstick still smudged on the rim from her stolen kiss. Before we start, thank you for coming to my channel. Your participation is my happiness. Let me know where you are and what time it is now. Okay, now let's get into the story. At 20, Mia Rossi had always known her place in the world. The artistic, free-spirited daughter of Sophia Rossi, a high-powered divorce attorney, and stepdaughter to Jake Carter, the man who'd raised her since she was 6. Jake, a 38-year-old freelance photographer with a quiet intensity, had married Sophia when Mia was still clutching stuffed animals. Now, he was the only father figure she'd ever known. Mia inherited her mother's fiery Italian curls but Jake's piercing hazel eyes, a detail strangers often remarked on. Jake, rugged from years of chasing storms for his photography, carried himself like a man who'd wrestled life's chaos into his viewfinder. His studio, a converted loft above their coastal home, smelled of darkroom chemicals and leather-bound journals. Everything changed the night Mia found Sophia's text to her tennis coach. It was midnight when Mia stormed into Jake's studio, tears streaking her cheeks. She's cheating, she choked out, shoving Sophia's glowing phone at him. Jake's jaw tightened as he scrolled, the screen's blue light reflecting in his stormy eyes. Without a word, he pulled Mia into a hug, his camera strap digging into her shoulder. They didn't tell Sophia they knew. Instead, their bond deepened. Evenings meant editing photos together in his studio, Mia's laughter mixing with the click of his shutter. She'd lean over his shoulder to critique shots, her vanilla perfume clashing with his cedar cologne. Then came the night of the gallery exhibit. Mia had worn a crimson dress that made Jake blink twice when she twirled for him. At the after-party, Sophia left early for a client call. Jake drove Mia home, the convertible's top down as coastal wind whipped their hair. You looked stunning tonight, he said suddenly, gripping the steering wheel. The compliment hung between them like a lightning strike. Back home, Mia found him on the balcony, staring at the moonlit waves. Why stay with her? She whispered, stepping closer. Jake's camera clicked, a reflexive capture of the horizon. Families don't quit, he said roughly. She touched his arm. We're not a family. Not really. He flinched. Mia. But she rose on her toes, pressing her lips to his. For one heart-stopping second he froze, then wrenched away, his camera crashing to the floor. Christ. He backed into the railing, sea wind flattening his shirt against his chest. I'm your father. You're not. Her voice cracked. You're just the man she married. The next morning Jake was gone. A note on the fridge about a month-long photography expedition. Mia stared at his abandoned coffee mug, lipstick still smudged on the rim from her stolen kiss. When he returned, everything was different. He started working late, avoiding dinners. But Mia noticed how his gaze lingered when she wore his old flannels, how he'd snap photos just as she entered a room. The breaking point came during a beach bonfire with friends. Mia, tipsy on spiked lemonade, tripped into Jake's arms as they carried firewood. His hands burned through her thin sweater. Stop, he growled, setting her down like shattered glass. Make me, she dared, fingers brushing his stubble. He recoiled as if scalded. That night, suitcases thudded downstairs. Mia found Jake loading gear into his Jeep, surfboard strapped to the roof. Where are you going? Panic tightened her throat. Indonesia. Storm-chasing assignment. He refused to look at her. You're running. I'm saving us. The engine roared to life. As taillights vanished down the coastal highway, Mia vowed the tides would bring him back, no matter how forbidden the current between them. Jake returned from Indonesia with a beard salt-crusted from the sea and eyes that refused to meet Mia's. He brought souvenirs, a carved wooden sea turtle for Sophia, a shell necklace for Mia. When he clasped it around her throat, his fingers trembled. It's beautiful, Mia whispered, pressing her hand over his. He withdrew like she'd burned him. Don't. Sophia noticed nothing. She'd swapped tennis coaches but not her late nights at the office. Mia took to lingering in Jake's studio after school, flipping through his storm photos. One afternoon she found a series of shots buried beneath maps of typhoon paths. Mia laughing on the pier, Mia braiding her hair in sunlight, Mia's silhouette against a sunset. Her heart raced. He'd been watching. That night, she confronted him during a thunderstorm. Rain lashed the studio windows as Mia waved the photos. Explain these. Jake's camera shutter clicked, a nervous tick. You're my muse. It doesn't mean. Liar. She stepped closer, the air thick with ozone and his cedar scent. You feel it too. He backed into his desk, tripods clattering. What I feel doesn't matter. You're her daughter. But you're not my father. The words hung between them, sharp as broken glass. A crash of thunder shook the room. The power died. In the sudden dark, Mia reached for him. Her lips found his jaw, stubble scratching her skin. For a breath, he leaned into it, then gripped her shoulders, shoving her away. Enough. His voice cracked. This ends now. Sophia's suspicion ignited at Mia's 21st birthday dinner. Why isn't Jake here? Mia poked her lobster, its shell cracked like their fragile truce. Work, Sophia said, sipping Chardonnay. Though he's been distracted lately. Her manicured nail tapped the stemware. You two still fighting? Mia's phone buzzed, a text from Jake. Don't wait up. She hid a smile. He'd been working every night she wore the necklace. We're fine, Mia lied. The confrontation came during a weekend yacht party. Sophia's clients mingled below deck while Mia found Jake alone at the bow, photographing bioluminescent waves. You've been avoiding me, she said, the sea spray clinging to her sheer cover-up. Jake kept his lens trained on the water. This is for the best. For who? Her. Mia gestured to where Sophia laughed with a silver-haired judge. She doesn't even see you. His camera lowered. And what do you see, Mia? Someone who's terrified to want me. The yacht lurched. Mia stumbled into him. His arms encircled her instinctively, their bodies flush. For 3 heartbeats, the world narrowed to his ragged breath, her hands fisted in his shirt. What the hell is this? Sophia's shriek split the night. They sprang apart. Mia's necklace snapped, shells scattering across the deck. It's not, Jake began. Save it. Sophia's laugh was icy. I've seen the way she looks at you. Disgusting. Mia stepped forward. You don't get to judge. You destroyed this family first. Sophia slapped her. The crack echoed across the water. Jake moved between them, his face ashen. Sophia, let's talk inside. Get rid of her, Sophia hissed. Or I'll make sure you never work again. Jake left at dawn. Mia found his studio stripped bare, save for one photo taped to the window, her drenched in rain, staring at the horizon. His text came as the sun rose. I'm moving to the Arctic assignment. Don't follow. This is how I protect you. Mia crumpled the necklace in her fist, shells drawing blood. On the beach, she waded into the freezing surf. Waves tugged at her like Jake's unresolved promises. You'll come back, she whispered to the storm-gray sky. Somewhere, a camera shutter clicked in the wind. Thank you for listening to the story so far. Your encouragement means a lot to me. Please comment and share your thoughts here. I love you and I am so grateful to have you on this journey with me to explore the story further. The Arctic assignment lasted 6 months. 6 months of Mia staring at the blank space where Jake's studio once thrived, her fingers tracing the shell-shaped scar on her palm from his broken necklace. Sophia's coldness hardened into glacial silence, their home now a museum of unspoken accusations. Mia channeled her fury into the ocean. She volunteered for a marine conservation project in Norway, studying melting ice caps. A deliberate choice, she admitted to herself, as Jake's last known location lingered near the Barents Sea. The first sighting happened at a remote research station. Mia was cataloging seal migrations when a familiar laugh cut through the howling wind. She turned, snow stinging her cheeks, and there he stood, thinner, bearded, his camera slung over a parka. Jake froze mid-conversation with a climatologist, his hazel eyes widening. You followed me, he said later, voice tight, in the station's cramped supply room. Mia yanked off her mittens, revealing the scar. You left this behind. He flinched. You shouldn't be here. Why? Because you're still pretending you don't want me. She stepped closer, their breath mingling in the frigid air. Or because she hired a detective? Jake's head snapped up. What? Sophia knows you're here. She's threatening to sue for alienation of affection. Mia's laugh was bitter. Turns out even icebergs can't hide us. That night, a storm trapped the team indoors. Mia found Jake in the observatory, photographing auroras through frost-rimmed glass. She'll ruin you, Mia said quietly. Let her try. His voice was raw. I won't let her hurt you again. Too late. She unzipped her coat, revealing the tank top beneath, his old band tee stolen years ago. You're the only one who ever saw me, Jake. Not her trophy daughter. Just Mia. The camera clattered to the floor. In the kaleidoscope of green auroras, he cupped her face. I've tried so damn hard to hate this, he whispered, thumb brushing her lip. Then stop trying. Their kiss was electric, desperate. A collision of years of restraint. But as Mia tangled her fingers in his hair, Jake tore away, panting. I can't, he rasped. Not like this. Not while she's watching. Mia followed his gaze to the security monitor. Sophia's hired detective had planted a camera in the corner, its red light blinking like a warning. The email came at dawn. Return home immediately or I release the footage to every news outlet. Sophia. Jake packed his lenses with robotic precision. I'll handle her, he said, avoiding Mia's eyes. How? By disappearing again. He paused, a photo slipping from his bag. Mia, age 16, grinning on his shoulders at Coney Island. By ending this. Back in New York, Mia stormed into Sophia's office. You win, Mia spat. He's gone. Again. Sophia smirked, twirling a pen. Men always leave, sweetheart. Even the good ones. But Mia noticed the tremor in her mother's hand, the cracks in her perfection. You're scared, Mia realized. Scared he loved me more than he ever loved you. Sophia's composure shattered. Get out. The text arrived as Mia boarded a plane to Iceland. Found your detective. Footage destroyed. Meet me at the lighthouse. The coordinates led to Montauk Point, where Jake stood silhouetted against storm clouds, waves crashing below. You came, he said. Mia's heart raced. Is this another goodbye? He opened his palm, a new shell necklace identical to the first. No more running. But we do this right. No secrets. No lies. And Sophia? Jake's smile was grim. Let her try to explain the affair she hid. As he clasped the necklace, Mia felt the tide shift. Not toward calm but toward a reckoning long overdue. The Montauk Lighthouse stood sentinel as Mia climbed the spiral stairs, salt air stinging her eyes. Jake waited at the top, his silhouette framed against a bruised sky. Below, waves clawed at the cliffs like Sophia's threats still echoing in Mia's mind. You're sure about this? Mia asked, gripping the rusted railing. Jake turned, holding a manila envelope. Inside, photos of Sophia and Ethan, time-stamped long before Mia's discovery. She's been lying to both of us, he said. But this isn't about revenge. It's about freedom. Mia's hand shook. What happens now? We choose. Sophia arrived at dawn, heels sinking into damp sand. Pathetic, she spat, eyeing the envelope in Jake's hand. You think a few photos scare me? Mia stepped forward. No. But your firm's ethics board might. Sophia paled. You wouldn't. We will, Jake said, voice steady. Unless you sign the divorce papers quietly. The wind snatched Sophia's laugh. And let you two play house? The world will call you monsters. The world already knows you, Mia said, throwing Sophia's phone at her feet, the same one that started it all. Your clients might wonder why you're sabotaging your family to hide an affair you began. Sophia's mask cracked. For a heartbeat, Mia saw the woman beneath, terrified, hollow. Sign the papers, Mia whispered. Or we all drown. The divorce finalized in a sterile office. Sophia kept her reputation but lost her family. Jake sold the coastal house, donating proceeds to Mia's Marine Conservation Fund. On their last morning together, Mia found him on the pier, camera trained on a lone seagull. Where will you go? She asked. Nepal. Documenting glacial melt. He hesitated. Come with me. Mia's heart ached. She touched the shell necklace, now a talisman of survival. I need to find who I am without this. Jake nodded, eyes glistening. He pressed a final gift into her hands. A photo book titled Horizons. Inside, Mia laughing, Mia studying waves, Mia alive. "You'll change the world, kid," he said, kissing her forehead. A father's kiss. Years later, Mia stood on a Norwegian research vessel, presenting her Arctic findings to a captivated conference. A familiar voice crackled through her earpiece during the Q&A. "Dr. Rossi, how do you stay hopeful in a world of melting ice?" She smiled, spotting Jake in the back row, camera raised. "By chasing the light," she said, "and trusting the tide to carry us home." Sophia's obituary called her a tenacious litigator. Mia left a single seashell on her grave. Jake's photo of Mia at the lighthouse won a Pulitzer. He never captioned it. Somewhere off Greenland, a humpback breached, its cry echoing a truth Mia finally understood. Not all storms destroy. Some cleanse. And that's it for today's story. I'd love to hear what you think. Leave a comment below and share your feelings. Did you relate to any of the characters? Or if you were in their shoes, what decisions would you make? I'd love to hear from all of you. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't, hit one. Subscribe so you don't miss out on more great content. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.